today I want to talk about emotional literacy. Now, emotional literacy is the words that you have available at your disposal to describe how you're feeling at any given point in time. It could also be understood as your emotional vocabulary. So I'm going to talk you through a really simple exercise that's designed to increase your emotional vocabulary and therefore expand your emotional literacy. And I'll also explain to you why that's an important thing to do. Why it's important to challenge yourself to grow your emotional vocabulary is because our reality is shaped by the words that we have at our disposal to describe what it is that we're experiencing. Our consciousness, or our experience of reality, is the manifestation of the symbiotic relationship, the feedback loop between our feelings and our thoughts. We have a feeling, we have a thought about that feeling. That thought then generates the next feeling, which then promotes the next thought. And here's the feedback loop. It's a bit like the chicken or the egg as far as which comes first. Doesn't really matter, okay? What does matter is it's these feelings and the thoughts we have about those feelings that then inform and guide our behaviour. So if we want to change our behaviour in any way, we need to better understand our feelings and be more astute with how we describe those experiences. So let's come back to thoughts for a minute. What are thoughts? Yeah? Thoughts are a collection of words shoved together, which are a sentence shoved together, which become a story that describe how we're feeling about something that's just happened, how we're feeling about our environment. And it's the combination of that feeling and that thought that's going to dictate how we react to our environment. So when we break all that down to its infancy, it boils down to the word. The words we have at our disposal are the building blocks for the thoughts that describe what it is that we're feeling. Alright, so now I'll take you through the exercise that I use clinically, particularly when I'm co-facilitating groups. This is a very helpful tool. Now, it's also a tool that can be used across a lifespan. So you can use it with your kids, use it with yourself, use it in general conversation. Fantastic way to expand your emotional vocabulary. So first, you've got a Google Feelings wheel or Emotions wheel. All these different images will come up. Pick the ones you like, print them out. Like, they're all slightly different, so it's important that you pick dialogue that speaks to you, words that you relate to. Print a few out so you've got a few different versions. So now I'm going to talk you through how I would use this clinically. So first, you have to identify a feeling. You'll have a feeling, there'll be a stimulus, you'll have a response. That's how feelings work. Stimulus, response, stimulus, response. It's a stimulus, you have a feeling or a response, okay? I'm going to use the example of anger. Now anger, there's a lot of heat in anger, yeah? Like, you feel anger straight away, bang, all right? How you feeling? I'm angry. Now, this is a really important point. Our neurology, our neurological networks are interested in efficiency to promote safety, not accuracy when it comes to describing our feelings. And why that's important to remember is because it presses upon us then to expand our emotional vocabulary. It's not something that's going to happen automatically or via osmosis. Okay, so now we're going to start with a core emotion. We're going to start with anger. Now, the core emotions are located in the center of the wheel. So when we think about the word anger, there's all these other connotations that come up with it. Heat, violence, confrontation, all these kinds of things. And that feeling is going to promote thoughts along that pathway or along that pattern, okay? So how this works is we take that feeling of anger in response to a certain situation or a stimulus. Then we take our emotions wheel and we go to the second tier, which is the circle of emotions in the middle. Now we pick a descriptor that we think more accurately describes that feeling than anger does. You've got to challenge yourself here, okay? And so for this example, I'm going to pick the word exasperated. Now straight away that experience changes. Exasperated, it's kind of like an exhaling that comes with exasperation, you know? It's a very different, even physically, it's a very, like if you're exasperated, that's a very different state to be in than angry. And all we've done is slightly change the word we're using to describe that feeling. So once I determine I'm exasperated about something as opposed to being angry about it, it opens up a different suite of options. I'm no longer as instantly combative. I'm no longer as instantly defensive. I'm exasperated. It's something that I'm tired of. So from exasperation, we do the same thing again. Step outside. Go to the third or the outer wheel and pick a third tier emotion to describe how you're feeling. A step out from exasperated. And so the option I'm going to choose is annoyed. Now, something is annoying. Mosquitoes are annoying, yeah? Very different to the experience of anger. So once something's annoying, it simply becomes an obstacle that you can transcend or navigate. It's a very different experience to being angry about something. Now, at every step of the way, from being angry to being exasperated, to being annoyed, the word that I've chosen to use to describe my emotion, how I'm feeling, has changed the way I view the situation or the stimulus that was promoting that feeling in the first place. It's also expanding the amount of thoughts I'm having about that feeling and therefore opening up options. Why is this important? Because it's those suite of options that inform the behaviour that I'm going to choose to engage in. And the behaviour I choose to engage in when I'm annoyed or exasperated looks very different to the behaviour I might choose to engage in when I'm angry. So that's a really simple exercise as to the utility and the importance of challenging yourself to increase your emotional literacy through expanding your emotional vocabulary, and the outcome of all this is to live a more peaceful existence. So I hope this was helpful for you. Stay safe, stay awesome, people. Take it easy.